So, Steffi, do you think Martin Luther King Day should be changed to Civil Rights Day?
Yes, Margot, I do think so. Because although Martin Luther King was very inspirational, there are a lot of other groups and people who did a lot for civil rights and who aren't well recognized. So I do believe that it should be Civil Rights Day and not just Martin Luther King. Because although he did a lot, he wasn't the only one who was an activist for civil rights.
While it is important to remember that MLK was an inspirational leader during the civil rights era, it is duly as important to remember the other groups and people who helped in the fight for civil rights. Some of these people were Ralph Abernathy, Irene Morgan, and the CORE Group. Ralph Abernathy was part of MLK's nonviolent protest group fighting for civil rights, but he is not as recognized and deserves credit for his roles in leading the movements all over the nation. Irene Morgan was the original Rosa Parks, refusing to give up her seat on a bus after she felt it was her lawful right to sit where she pleased. And if Rosa Parks is recognized as a silent fighter for civil rights, then Irene Morgan should get commendation as well. The CORE Group was also a civil rights group in which the Freedom Riders were part of, that was completely separate from Martin Luther King's groups and nonviolent movements, but just as important. Also, Martin Luther King started off his campaign with a string of successes. First, with the Montgomery bus boycott, and then with his establishment of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or the SCLC, in 1957, among others. But after initial success, he was met with backlash, failing to help change the lives of blacks in Birmingham, where he was arrested, and then in Selma, where he didn't have success either. His time in jail in Birmingham allowed for other civil rights activist groups to pop up, offering ideas like Black Power, the idea that all blacks should band together and create normal society separate from the whites. Different ideas for equality among blacks began, and Martin Luther King lost some of his followers to newer and seemingly more powerful and less passive approaches to gaining equality.
Although Martin Luther King was a powerful and inspirational figure for the civil rights movement, he had a downfall of support during a period of time where other groups were doing more activist work to gain civil rights. Some of these groups were the Freedom Riders and CORE, who gained plenty of support, but who are not recognized for their accomplishments. For this reason, I believe we should change Martin Luther King Day to Civil Rights Day in order to spread a light on not only Martin Luther King, but other activists of that time who worked to gain civil rights.
Gotta get rights, good Lord. Martin's got 'em protesting all over town. Every day they just sit around, never back down, never fight to the ground. But think about the Freedom Riders getting beat down by the white crowd. Can't get 'em out of your mind. Oh wow, need some recognition all the time. King was inspiration, but there were others who went further. People like Diane Nash, who wanted freedom fast, who organized the Freedom Riders. I like the way you protest non-violence. I gotta claim my rights. They deserve recognition, like Civil Rights Day instead of MLK Day. They also endured backlash in Anniston and Montgomery. The whites got so paranoid, they even destroyed the lives of the blacks. They started burning buses and imprisoned the nonviolent. But what did these people do to deserve all this rude attitude? I like the way you protest nonviolence. I gotta claim my rights. They deserve recognition, like Civil Rights Day instead of MLK Day. I like the way you protest non-violence. I gotta claim my rights. They deserve recognition, like Civil Rights Day instead of MLK Day.